Brohemian Grove, the laziest special in comedy history.
Brohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Grove 3 show.
Bohemian Grove.
See the Bohemian Grove thing through.
Bohemian Grove was the first appearance that he's made in the last like 5 years.
This was supposed to be Owen Benjamin's comeback special, a victory lap, a showcase of dangerous comedy in a world too soft for truth. But what the Tower Gang got was a man with no new material, no preparation, and no shame. It was a man sleepwalking through his past, surrounded by people who no longer laugh, just tolerate.
So I'm looking forward to a great weekend in Leesburg with the Brohemian Grove boys. I'm honored that they asked me to do it. I hope we do great podcasts. I'm going to do a great job on the stage. I'm already writing a ton of bits. And attend, it'll be epic because it's the last time I'm doing it. And it's not because they did anything wrong. It's because I am a power generator that can't do certain wiring.
Before Owen even touched the mic, he told us, "I've done 2 sets in 6 years. I'm just going to write down deli Jews and wing it."
The set for Florida's coming around well. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to wing most of it. I'm not going to work on the set like I do specials. I'm just going to write down notes. I want to talk about the different types of Jews, like deli Jews and sodomy Jews and all that. I really want to do some of those bits like Ira and just kind of riff. BB, don't forget the King Charles bit. That was hilarious. I don't even remember it, the Bandit Bear. I'm a flow state guy. I'll probably talk about whatever I find funny that day. And I'm unapologetic about it. It's all good. One of the beauties is, I'll give you a little taste though. One of the beauties is, when you're as banned as I am, it's pretty understandable to just kind of come from it from a good angle. You can work really hard and get all your bits right, but there's probably going to be an element of chaos there.
He said it himself. No plan, no structure, just flow. But this wasn't improvisation. It was indifference. 2 hours of meandering thought dumps, half-written songs, and recycled punchlines.
Because, a lot of people are like, oh, but tall people, I don't think people understand how crazy it is. When people just randomly walk up to you, they're just like, "You're huge. Do you play basketball?" I'm like, "You're black. Did you steal my fucking bike?" I'm really tall. I'm 6'7", which is like Narnia tall, And people just assume you're good at stuff when you're tall that you're not good at, like basketball. I'm horrible. And strangers will walk up to me and be like, "Hey, man, do you play basketball?" I'm just like, "No." And they're like, "Ah, you can't do it that way, But it's been an interesting thing being 6'8" and bad at basketball because strangers are like, "Yo, you play basketball?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Why not?" They're sad. They're like, "You're wasting it." I'm like, "Sorry, man." They're like, I want to walk up to a short guy just once and be like, "Hey, bro, do you get shot out of a cannon?" "How, little buddy? You work for Santa Claus?" I want to go up to short dudes and be like, "Yo, dude, do you get shot out of a cannon? You should totally do that. You could fly through the air." And I actually think it's pretty simple why some of these little Jews don't like giants. It's because we can see the tops of their heads. And they're all bald, right? So they're like, and I can just look down and you can see their fucking bald spot. And then they feel shame and then they get aggressive. I'm convinced that's why they wear yarmulkes. They're like, "Oh, it's for God." I'm like, the whitest, pastiest people on the planet historically have the smallest hats. And I think we all know who I'm talking about. The Jews. You're trying to cover your bald spot, and you're so cheap you can't afford a brim. Jews have almost no hat. It looks like a joke. It's called a yarmulke. It barely covers a small bald spot. It looks like a swim cap for kittens. Right? Are you guys anti, when you look at a giant, are you like, he's consuming all the resources? How do you guys view us? Because even in the Bible, you got David and Goliath, right? I have a whole different take on that. Everyone's like, little David killed the giant with the banned weapon. You know, the Bible's great and everything, but there is some serious anti-giant bigotry going on there. Like David and Goliath, great story. I understand, you know, when you're with God, you can kill the giant and everything, right? But like my kids will like try to recreate David and Goliath, and it's like a freaking hate crime, you know? Dude, do you know the mayor of Leesburg's fucking name's David? Dude, it's in their blood. They're like, a giant is coming! Quick, ADL! Let's write magical words filled with lies. Dude, I don't know what it is, man. Like, think about David and Goliath. So, David was probably like, let's fight. And Goliath's like, yeah, fair fight, right? Like, why would anyone lie? And he's like, and they did like a PSYOP false flag like a year early at like Sandy Hook Nose or some shit. And they're like, and all the giants are like, well, we should give up our slingshots. I mean, we don't want to be mean. Because I'm 6'8". I'm like legitimately a giant. And they're like, it's a giant. Let's kill the giant. And they just start hitting me. And they're like, yeah. We're like, David, that's a giant. Kill the giant. And then I started being like, well, did the giant get like a rock to throw or no? It's like, no, David had God on his side and like a weapon. And so then he's like going to fight David. And David's like, come on. And then he pulls out a slingshot and kills him with a weapon in a fight. Like, imagine Jake Shields is fighting someone, and the guy's a gun. I'm like, how come the giant didn't get a weapon? They're like, that fucking giant got what he deserved. And everyone's like, oh my God, the Jews win again. And you're like, dude, you used a slingshot. Goliath didn't fucking have a slingshot. They're like, yeah, but he had a big dick, though, didn't he? Oh, Jesus. Bunch of self-hating fucks. Sorry, I'm not going to get angry about it. It's all good. You know, I started Justice for Goliath 3,000 years ago. Right? And then after they killed him, they snipped his dick. That's in the Bible, man. They took Goliath's foreskin after they got him. They're like, if David wins again, quick, pull out the cock. And all right, listen, I'm not against King David. Here's the thing, though. Where'd you guys come in from? Who came the farthest? Arizona. Where'd you come from? Massachusetts. Good. Canada. Did you drive here or fly here? I might give you a bar of soap. Like Top was like, yo, you can bring merch. I have 3 bars of soap that I made. And I'm like, I'm not selling 3 bars of soap. So I'm like, I'm going to give them away. And but here's the funniest part. I guarantee the mayor will say it's anti-Semitic that I make my own soap. They died especially bad with us. They turned us into soap. I'm like, why would someone who hates you bathe with you? Because I literally make soap. That's how I know a lot of this shit is nonsense. They're like, they turned our flesh into soap. I'm like, dude, that's not possible. And she's like, that is... What? I'm like, it started with Greenland. No, I'll back up. No. And so, what else do I want to talk about? Yeah, like my whole life, I've had issues with authority, but not because I challenge authority. I just want to know the rules. Like one time I got pulled over, and the lady was like, do you know how fast you're going? I'm like, as fast as I can.
Yeah, Paul, I got a speeding ticket recently in the mountains. True story. His cop's like, son, do you know how fast you're going? I was like, yeah, as fast as possible. You know, I was like, I swear to God, I had a whole setup that I wanted to I had an argument.
And she's like, what? I go, I saw a sign back there that said falling rock zone. So I'm trying to get out of this horrifying situation. Thanks for alerting me.
He was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I saw a sign back there that said falling rock zone. So I'm getting the out. Cop's like, no, son, you got to slow down in the falling rock zone. I'm like, sir, I've done the math.
She's like, no, you got to slow down in the falling rock zone. I'm like, ma'am, no disrespect, but I've done the math on this thing.
All right? The slower I go, the higher the probability I die in a Donkey Kong-related accident.
The slower I go, the higher the probability I die in a Donkey Kong-related incident. You know? It's just, that's the issue I had with COVID the most. It was like, oh yeah, you have to wear a mask walking into the restaurant, but then you can take it off unless you're like gay, then you have to wear this hat. And for a lot of you, it was COVID. Because COVID happened and it got so weird, like nothing made sense. Where they're like, okay, when you go into a restaurant, you have to wear a mask, and then when you sit down, you get to take the mask off. I'm like, okay, so this is all nonsense. They're like, you sound like you're full of hate. And any thinking person's like, so the virus just stays at like 6 foot? It doesn't go down? And Coddington's like, what about dwarves? Like, does a dwarf, like, so if your face here gets COVID, but, you know, or no, here you're safe, you know, when you're eating, but when you're walking in, you're not safe. So is a dwarf always safe? So, like, when a dwarf walks his happy little ass into Arby's, like, does he have to wear a mask? And so a lot of people are like, this doesn't make sense. And I've been like that my whole life. Things have not been adding up to me with me forever. I like the Hispanics here. They're really nice and pleasant. And if I had experienced this more in LA, I'd probably be less racist because I call them island Mexicans. So when you come to Florida, everybody's like kind of moving and kind of like really cool. They're like, they call you like my man. They're like, yo, my man, you want insurance for that car? I'm like, dude, we're dancing right now. Like, this is cool. Like in LA, the Mexicans kind of like just mad dog you a bit. They're like, yo, bro, you from? Yo, bro. And I'm like, it's time for you guys to go home, you know? But you island Mexicans, you're eating the coconuts, you're fucking grooving. You're very sexual people, I'll tell you that. Dude, even the weather reports in Florida are like pornographic if you're not from here. When it rains in LA, it gets almost sexual for these dudes. You ever watch a weather report when it's like raining? They're like, thank you, Tina. On Tuesday, we have a cold front coming in hard and strong. It's going to push in early. A lot of moisture down south. You know, where I'm from, it's just, you know, it's just cold, shitty. Here, it's like, we have a cold front coming in hard and strong. Going to get a lot of moisture down south by the tip. It's going to get nice and wet down there. Then on Wednesday, the rains are coming in. We're looking at 7 inches pounding us all night long. Then on Wednesday, we have 7 inches pounding us all night long. We're going to move in. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Just eye line with the camera. I'm at home like, what's the 10-day forecast? All the island Mexicans are just like, ooh, yeah, ja, ja, ja. They say ja, ja instead of ha, ha. Dude, I love that shit. Make some noise if you're Hispanic. Where are the Hispanic people at? Yeah. I love Hispanic people. They're fun. They're great. They're great. You guys get fired up. And I'll tell you what makes me happy is when my Hispanic friends, when I text something funny, they don't say ha, ha. They say ja, ja. Dude, you text something funny, they're like, ja, 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 ja. And it makes me so happy every time I see it. It's like, I say something funny, they're like, ja, 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 ja.
Here's the trick Owen pulled. He didn't just recycle his own material, he plagiarized others. Let's compare. These weren't callbacks, they were copy-pastes. Let's take a look at the Moose Me's bit.
All right, well, this is what you're getting tonight. I don't know. It's the Moose Lodge. Dude, my whole life, I always wonder why it's not meese. Like, it's like, oh, 1 moose, 3 meese.
Let's try another one. Erwin, what is he plural for? Goose. Geese. I saw a flock of geese. Brian, what? Brian, what's the plural for? Moose. Moosin'.
Everyone's like, no, it's moose. I'm like, mooses? They're like, 3 moose. I'm like, goose geese, though. And they're like, but those are the rules. I'm like, this is literally the only thing I don't like about Jews.
I saw a flock of moosin'. There are many of them, much moosin'. Out in the woods, in the woodsin'. The meat's wanting the food. Food is to eating, is it? The meat's wanting the food and in the wooding in, is it? And the food in the wooding, is it? Brian, you're an imbecile.
Regan builds with innocence and rhythm. Owen mutters it like a Twitter comment.
I don't care about the religion. Don't care at all. It's changing the rules constantly. If it's goose geese, it's moose meese. And they're like, no, I before E, except after C, and these 31 other times, unless you want an ADL hit piece. I'm like, fuck you.
I remember my teacher asked me, Brian, what's the I before E rule? I before E, always. What are you, an idiot, Brian? Apparently. So she explains it, no, Brian, it's I before E, except after C, and when sounding like A, as a neighbor in way, and on weekends and holidays, and all throughout May, and you'll always be wrong, no matter what you say.
We used to have a sign that said deaf child area, and everyone used to just honk and laugh. You know, they'd just be like, man, and Dana, his name was Dana, he'd be like, nah.
We're in the car one time. George is up front, I'm driving, Isla's in the back seat, and we drive past a sign that says deaf child. And immediately I hear the think tank in the back start bubbling. Isla just to herself goes, whoa. Well, that's racist. I go, nope, no, it's not. It's not what racism looks like.
Because I always wonder, what the fuck does that sign even do? It's just virtue signaling, you know. No one's like, hey, a kid ran out. Just honk and gun it. I didn't see a sign. He's definitely not deaf.
And Georgia goes, Isla, they put that sign up so that we know when we're in this neighborhood, we should probably lower our radios. I'm like, what the fuck?
No twist, no layering, no punch, just the hollow shell of a joke he didn't write.
Like, literally, what does a Deaf Child Zone song do? Or Deaf Child Zone sign do? Like, what possible good does that do? Can anyone answer that?
No, finish this. I want to hear the end of this. She goes, so we don't rub it in that we can hear, right, Dad? I'm like, no, that's not. Shit, you're dumber than she is. No, Georgia, that's not why they have that.
Slow down to read it? Well, you slow down to read the sign, you're like, Deaf Child Zone. How does that change your driving in any way? Are there people that are just like, man, I'm just going to get real audio with my driving and just know the kid? No, little Dana like looked out. He was just like, I know. But yet I'm the mean guy for having a fun honk and having a good time.
It's so you know there's a kid that may not hear your car coming, Georgia. And then Isla leans up at the front and goes, so are deaf kids like guns? Do you have to register them with the state? I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, Dad, how do they know where to put those signs? And now I'm sitting in the front seat of this clown car, thinking sincerely to myself, how do they know where to put those signs?
No structure, no build, no originality. Even when reusing his own material, Owen couldn't recreate the spark.
One time I got pulled over in Los Angeles. This is like '06. It's whenever the law just went into place where you couldn't talk on a cell phone and drive. When was that? Like '07?
I don't like fighting with cops. I'm friends with some cops. Like, they don't want to fight with you, but I love giving a good argument. Like, there's some good arguments out there. Like, I got a cell phone ticket, right? Cop pulls me over, talking on a cell phone and driving. I'm like, why is that illegal? He's like, got to operate a vehicle with two hands. I'm like, is it illegal to be a one-armed person? Swear to God.
I had a 1991 Plymouth Acclaim with an orange fender, right? And if you want to know freedom, drive a piece of shit of a car. Everyone lets you in. You know, I'm like, I don't need a blinker to merge. I'm like, because they're like, he doesn't have car insurance. Tina, let him in. I'm like, I don't stop, dude. Look at my fender. It's fucking orange. I don't care about anything. But I got pulled over, and the cop was like, you were talking on a cell phone and driving. I'm like, why is that illegal? He was like, because you were distracted. I'm like, what if I was just like talking to an imaginary friend? He's like, what? I'm like, why am I distracted doing this? I'm like, what if I was just doing it with the radio? Like, what does it matter? What if I'm holding a banana and I'm like insane?
He was like, no. I'm like, you don't pull over one-armed people, do you? It's illegal, isn't it? I'm like, then pretend I'm one-armed. I have my legal arm. And then this is a bonus arm. Holy shit, I have my bonus arm right here. And then I choose the bonus arm to hold a phone with, because this isn't legally necessary. I'm just going to hold a phone with it.
He's not evolving the bit, he's burying it.
He's like, no, you have to operate a vehicle with two hands. I was like, is it illegal to be a one-armed driver? He was like, what? I'm like, if I was a one-arm driver, can I still get a license? He's like, of course. I'm like, okay, pretend I'm a one-arm driver. This is my bonus arm. And I'm just going to hold the phone with my bonus arm. He's like, step out of the vehicle. Because at this point, he thinks I'm like cracked out on meth or some shit.
He's like, yeah, but you're talking into sound. I'm like, what if I was talking to a banana? He's like, the bonus arm? I'm like, yeah, bonus arm with the banana. Would you pull me over? He's like, of course not. I'm like, okay, then yeah, now legally you have to prove that the object in my hand has reception. I have an iPhone, that's gonna be difficult because I'm going to court on this thing. He's like, step out of the vehicle. I'm like,
and he really did. He searched my car because I was being so erratic. And the dude handcuffs me, right? And I'm just standing there on the side of the road and I start laughing because that's my natural response. And he's like, what are you laughing at? I go, if I was one-armed, you couldn't handcuff me.
I had drugs in my pocket. Not the smartest time to stage a debate.
And he was more shocked that I was completely sober and I had no drugs. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, how about you have some laws that make sense? Bonus arm. That's it. It's just like, what are the laws? Just tell me the rules.
Flat, lifeless, stripped of pacing, imagery, and punch.
Wouldn't it be funny to be King David's like best friend who goes on his missions with him? Have you ever read about how King David tried to get Saul's daughter? There's this one story where King David really wanted Saul's daughter. He thought she was really smoking hot. And he went to King Saul and he said, what can I do to get your daughter? And King Saul told him what he needed to do. And so David went around to his buddies to see if they wanted to help out. And I really want to know what that conversation was like. Can you imagine being King David and you go to one of his buddies and you're like, listen, man, have you seen King Saul's daughter? And the guy's like, his name's Gary. Gary's like, yeah, man, she's pretty hot. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm willing to do just about anything to get her. Are you down to help? It's so funny. Imagine King David going up to Saul, going up to his buddy and being like, yo, dude, we have to go on this mission. Have you seen Saul's daughter? She's hot. It's like, yeah, dude, she's super hot. Yeah. No, like, I want her, like, bad. And his buddy's like, yeah, man, I get it. You want her. It's like, no, I'm going to ask you to go on a mission with me, and it's going to get pretty dark out there. Are you in? And he's like, yeah, man, you have my back. I got your back. What do you think? And he's like, bro, it's pretty intense, but you're committing, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, okay, we got to kill 100 guys. And the guy's like, why? Did they do something to you? He's like, no, they're Philistines, right? Fuck those guys. So are you down for a genocide? And he's like, yeah, I'm in. It's like, you just said you're in no matter what, right? And he's like, yeah, I will help you. It's like, we got to go to the Canaanites, and I got to kill some guys. Yeah, no problem. Fuck Canaanites. I'll kill with you. It's like, yeah, but after they're dead, I'm going to be doing something weird to their dicks. Fact, what King Saul asked David to bring him, does anybody know? And Gary's like, dude, that's super intense. He's like, are you in, though? You said you were in earlier. He's like, yeah, I'm in. He's like, okay, so you promise you're in. You're now in no matter what I say now. 200 foreskins. That's hilarious, but think about the buddy that, like, he definitely had a wingman on that and was like, dude. So many. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that shit. He's like, yeah, King David, you're the man. Like, I love doing sheep work with you. You're always great. You have my back. I got your back. We'll kill some Philistines. Fuck those guys. You know. He's like, all right, so after the Philistines are dead, I'm going to be doing something to them that I really need you to get on board with early. And he's like, what are you thinking? You thinking about, like poking them with a stick or something? He's like, no. I got to bring back a little trophy to old King Saul. He's like, what do you think, like an earlobe? He's like, dicks. This is a true story. This is in the Bible. He's like, King Saul needs 100 foreskins from the Philistines or else I can't get her. So after they're dead, I'm going to be pulling out their ween and doing a little clipping, and you're going to hold the bag for me. And Gary's like, dude, he's like, you committed. And now we're going to do 200 dicks. And they did it. Like, they got a big bag of dicks.
And then King Saul was like, dude, I was just joking. I can't believe you did that.
Just crude, not clever. The finale of the night, a Jimmy Buffett parody called Boomerville, written the night before, performed without rhythm, lacking timing, no final punchline, just a sad little man whining in falsetto while Tower Gang silently fell apart.
I was up all night writing a song for the baby boomers because this to me, the Villages to me is like hell, you know? And so I wrote a song with Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett has a little song called Margaritaville. You guys know that song? Yeah. Okay, this one is like 8 times longer because I was up till like 6 in the morning. Oh, this one's live? Oh, thanks. Cheers. All right, here we go. All right. You guys, all right? Let's play it. All right. Here we go. Living off pensions. Some long-term investments. A real estate deal I've made 2 or 3.
Even his original material is frozen in time. The Boomerville parody, a Jimmy Buffett diss track, in 2025, mocking boomers like it's still 2007.
I'm here because I made it with bootstraps and pure grit. Everything I have because of me. Swinging the day away in baby Boomerville. Sitting on the couch blasting the news. Some people claim that I'm too old to want to bang, but I know it's the blue pill's fault.
It's never the juice.
It's like real long, and I'm not gonna stop. It's like Freebird, dude.
This song is unbearably long, just like Boomer said. I think this could kill guys. I'm doing a show tomorrow. I've done 2 sets in 6 years, and they were both taped. And I'm doing Jake's podcast at 6, doing the show at 8. There's a local opener who I guess is like wild. So like, I'm just going out to have fun, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
And doing it in the Villages, it's like...
Yeah, no, this is like, I want it to be my Freebird.
He used to satirize culture. Now he just recycles bitterness, stuck in a time when Boomer was a meme, not a mirror. Tower Gang backed him when no one else would. They secured the venue, promoted the show.
We have had the cancel culture mob report us to the Tropic Theater for daring to host Owen Benjamin, and the theater local government caved. We were presented with the option of being allowed to continue there as long as we ditched Owen, to which I said, fuck you. The event continues.
The only reason Brohemian Grove happened at all was Tower Gang. They stood by Owen when the original venue bailed. They put their names on the line to back him. And what did he do? He phoned it in.
Hold on. This is not politics. This is business. I can handle fucking business negotiations.
You're talking about the mayor of the town and the 4 council people around him. The argument between the board of the theater and the board of this government board.
I understand all
who
that.
Booked them, not should we.
I know, but you had as soon as you were approached, it was basically just like, all right, I get it, we're done. I'm just saying, I think had I actually had a friendly conversation with him without the obvious disdain for his Jewish heritage, I think I could have handled it.
There was no obvious.
He has people that are dedicated to following his every move, all of his plans, and then getting ahead of the curve and thwarting them for him. So Owen Benjamin, is my understanding, he hasn't toured or left and performed anywhere in 5 years.
Actually, this is his last performance out anywhere. He's never going to do it again. He's like, I feel like I'm like a fucking wrecking ball. You know, like we did something nice here, and he came, and he's like, I feel like I ruined it. But he didn't ruin it.
This group has gotten stressed, and the stress came from success. And then you bring someone like me in that walks the walk. Walking the walk drives people insane because it reveals that they're not. And so in the future, the reason I'm not going to tour with other people's clubs or theaters or anything is because I bring so much stress to a situation and I don't like it. I don't like that feeling of like, oh, the Tower Gang are breaking up. What did you do? I hate that. You know, it's why some attractive women get fat. I don't want to go and show that I'm authentic, that this is what being canceled looks like, that I actually did persevere, that Bertario was not a scam, that I actually am funny, I don't actually hate anybody, and that all of that shit that's been thrown at me is not justified. I don't care, but other people feel like it makes them insane. And so it's not my path anymore. You know, for a little bit I was like, oh, I'll tour again, the heat's gone down. Who the hell would react to bigot, racist, homophobe? Clint did. Liberty Lockdown fell for that shit.
What did Owen give them? A sloppy stream of anti-Semitism, laziness, and mockery. Then joked, do we even call it Tower Gang anymore? Did they break up like the Beatles?
All the guys from the Tower Gang, I mean, do we even call it that anymore? Did they break up like the Beatles?
Yes, Owen, you were Yoko, but not talented.
Yeah, the Tower, Building 7 gang. And
the joke landed, but not how he thought. They looked up to him. They wanted to believe, but they also knew one wrong move and they'd be his next target. So they stayed quiet, smiled through it, because with Owen, loyalty is a one-way street. There was a time when Owen Benjamin was lovable, a tall, goofy pianist who made fun of himself more than others. We laughed with him, but somewhere along the way, he stopped growing, stopped listening, started blaming Jews, blaming the media, blaming comedy itself for moving on without him. Now he's not the oaf you laugh at. He's the angry uncle who thinks TikTok is a psyop. Thank you for watching. My name is Propaganda Ltd. AI Grift Patrol out.
dude, how about this little piano? I feel like this fuck like...
What's your problem?
The problem? Look how high that microphone is, all right? You want me to get a step stool to help you adjust it? It's like you're just rubbing it in, man.
It has to be this tall. I can't sit in a piano because I get all hunched over and sad. I look like the Peanuts kid, like, hey, Charlie Brown, I'm an ogre.